So we have a pleasure to announce that we are about to introduce, not about, but like in probably a few months, maybe next year, we are about to introduce a new Pan European destroyer line, where the first representative of this line will be the Polish destroyer ORP Gryf. And the second place will belong to Tatra, which is, as far as I remember, Austro-Hungarian ship. So whoever is from Austria or Hungary, I think he will be excited. I am excited for Gryf. The third place will belong to Romulus, and I think you have to help me out a little bit here. Romulus is destroyer from Royal Swedish Navy.
Sweden built 2 of those. Can you guess what the other one was called?
Romulus, Jesus, I remember. It's a tricky question, but
Come on, Star Trek fans.
See if chat knows.
the fourth one will be
Yes.
Class Horn. And as far as I remember, this is also a Swedish destroyer.
I think you can slow down. I think you can take your time. We'll go through these a little bit slower, yeah. What was the correct name, sorry, for the last...
Remulus.
Remus.
Re-
They all
Remus.
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 Nobody-
Yeah,
Okay, we
Remus.
got it, okay. Oh, Class Horn, okay.
I would love to go slower, but the video is very short.
Okay, so we'll whiz through them and then we can talk about them a little bit more, I think.
Remus. And the fifth play will belong to Wisby. Wisby?
Wisby, yeah.
Wisby? Am I pronouncing it right?
Swedish as well, yeah?
Yeah.
I saw the name and I thought it was Danish, but no, it is Swedish.
So I believe that everyone from Sweden will be delighted to see their ships in a game.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few in this new line.
Yes, there will be a lot, actually. The sixth place is Vasteras. Vasteras.
Beautiful.
Guys, help me with pronunciation. Do we have any Swedes on our chat? In our chat? Nah. Someone said Westeros.
Okay.
It is actually a Westeros.
Vesteros,
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Westeros.
The captain's seat on the bridge is actually the Iron Throne.
Ah, very good. I
The
appreciated that.
the seventh place belonged to Skane.
Skane? Skane? I want to go with Skane. Let's see. Let's see what the phonetical...
I believe it's correctly pronounced hurdy-gurdy-gurdy.
Skune.
Ah, okay.
Skane. Like the chat is writing everything, basically.
Take a while to down.
Let's check the eighth position, which is Uland. I believe that it's Uland with this long U because I recognize this letter. So it's the 8th tier. Guys, be not afraid. I know that we are going pretty fast through them, but you are more than welcome to check our World of Warships developers blog. Because about in half an hour, 15 minutes, all of them will be presented on World of Warships development blog. So be not afraid. The 9th position will belong to Östergötland. I hope that I nailed it because I really made an effort.
Yeah, sure you did.
Swedish person here, super happy. Östergötland or something like that. Oh, someone said close enough. I'm happy with it.
Okay.
If someone said close enough, I'm happy. Someone said that's a big boy. Yes, it is. Thank you. Sorry, it was about the ship. Let's check the tier 10, shall we? And the tier 10 is Holland. Holland. Am I pronouncing it right? I believe I do. And it's also a Swedish ship. Right? Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, launched
Oh,
in 1952.
These are all real ships.
All real ships, yes.
But
indeed.
wait, there is more. There is another 10th tier ship. What? Lumberjack, what are you saying? You're spoiling us. Yeah, guys, I know. So let's show it without any. Smaland, which is going to be apparently a premium ship or achievable ship somehow.
It's also a Halland class destroyer, but it was the second one to be built.
Yes. Smaland, Halland.
The funny thing about the tier 9 and 10 Pan Europeans is that these tier 10s were actually built before the Ostergötland, the tier 9. But the reason why they're in the tech tree in the order they are, as far as I can figure out, is because they didn't build. I mean, the Hallands came first, and then the Ostergötlands, but they didn't build the Ostergötlands because they were improved on the Halland. They built them because they were cheaper, so they weren't quite as good.
Yeah, I'm just looking now. The I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, but the tier 9 was. When was it launched? I just had it.
Jingles, are you excited about them?
I am. I quite like the. Correct me if I'm. Well, I don't know if I can say because the dev blog hasn't gone up yet.
I mean, we can
we talk
yeah,
about
you
the
can.
characters?
You can spoil them. We're gonna show them in 15-30 minutes, so I believe that.
So they don't get smoke screens, is that right?
That is right. Yes.
That is right.
But they do get very long range AA,
Yes.
at least in the high tiers, and their torpedoes don't do a lot of damage, but they're very fast and very long ranged.
I think they. Am I right in saying that they're going to be the fastest torpedoes in the game?
Possibly. I can't remember specifically, but I remember looking at just like in the low tiers and even at tier 3 they can stealth torp and they've got 65 knot torpedoes.
Yeah, I mean we can go through some of the characteristics now. Yeah, like very.
Before we're gonna get into details, I just want to remind guys. As you see, there is this big work in progress sign. And it's there for a reason. They are really indeed work in progress. So by the time we will properly introduce them to the game, everything might change, including design, including all the statistics, characteristics, and stuff like that. So please remember. Sorry for being a fan police here.
Lovely.
When? Soon TM. That's all I can say for now. Because I love my job and I want to keep it.
Yeah, we community contributors haven't even seen these things yet. This is the first time we're hearing about them, so it's still going to be a while before they give them to us to test. The super testers will have them first, and then we'll get them. And even by the time we get them, it's probably going to be a month or two before they go live.
This is like real premiere.
I think all of them should be introduced. Yeah, they're going to be added to the game in the upcoming Super Test season. Yeah.
Someone asked a valid question. Why not make it Swedish line so we get our flag in game? You will get your flag in game probably, just like Błyskawica. Even though she is in a Pan European tech tree, she has his own flag. So most likely Swedish ships will get one as well.
Yeah, it'll be like the Pan Asians.
Yes, exactly.
All over the place. Taiwan, China, Thailand, whatever. If you go into the external characteristics, and you can pick whether or not you have the Pan-Asian flag or the national flags. So all of my ships have got the Thai flag, the Taiwanese flag, the Chinese flag, and so on and so on. It'll be the same for these.
Which one of those you are the most excited about?
I'm not sure, actually. I quite like the look of the tier 9.
I'm excited about tier 9 because of the name. It's gonna be probably hilarious for many players to pronounce.
Oh, I can just... Oh, God, yeah. I can see my videos.
Hey, already. Jingles, can you play Ostergötland?
Yeah. Because they trolled me with the Gneisenau. Because I called it... First, I only just slightly pronounced the G. I was like, Gneisenau. Mostly an N. And then people claiming to be German were there in the comments of my videos saying, Jingles, we are Germans. We don't put letters in our words if we don't expect you to use them. You must pronounce the G. So in my next video, I called it the Gneisenau. And then actual Germans were saying, for God's sake, Jingles, what do you think this is? It doesn't matter what I do. I always get it wrong.
So do you want to go over some characteristics?
Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, sure. So I'll just read off a few of these characteristics. But yeah, as we said, all the information will be live on the dev blog very soon. But let's start with the torpedoes. They're very fast torpedoes with relatively low damage and long range. The artillery is similar to American destroyers. It can be quite effective in close combat, but weaker than other artillery-focused destroyers. I mean, we can talk about the speed as well. The speed of the new destroyers is going to be quite low, but it's going to be compensated by the next point I'm going to come on to. It will have engine boost consumable as well in a dedicated slot, giving it a standard bonus of 8% to the speed.
If I can just interject there,
Yeah,
when
sure.
we say the speed will be quite low, we're not talking 30 knots. 35, which
35.
is on the slow side for a destroyer, but it's still not slow.
Yeah, you've just got to pay attention to your positioning, as with any destroyer. So starting from Tier 7, the AA Defense of European Destroyers has quite a large area of effect and deals pretty good damage. There is the presence of Repair Party at Tiers 5 to 8. And it's the same, I think they're getting the same heal as the British destroyers. And then at Tier 9 and 10, this consumable will be active for 4 seconds longer. And then, this is probably the most interesting point. Starting from Tier 8, ships are going to be equipped with surveillance radar in a dedicated slot. And it has an action time of 15 seconds and a range of up to 7.5 kilometers. It's going to be incredibly interesting. I'll come on to the very last point in these characteristics, and then we can probably talk about it a little bit more. So it's got surveillance radar, but it's got a lack of smoke and a relatively high detection range. So no smoke. I mean, what do you feel about that? I mean,
well, if you give them no smoke, a short-range radar, because it's only 7.5 kilometers, and again, stats subject to change, but usually a top speed of around 35 knots, large detection range, no smoke. We're starting to sound very, very French, aren't we? Except the French are fast.
mhm.
These can be fast. They're not like other ships where you have to choose between speed boost and some other consumable. Same with the radar. You get the radar. You don't have to choose between that and torpedo reload booster, for example. You get the speed boost, so it's going to be. I think they're going to have a fairly high skill floor.
I have this Friesland vibe from them, except
Yes.
the torpedoes, obviously.
Yeah, because the number of times, because I just do so badly in the Friesland, because I keep expecting ships to not charge into my smoke screen because I'm a destroyer. But they go, what are you going to do? You can't torpedo me. So I'm like, I've got to get out of here. Too late. Spotted. Dead. Now, obviously, these are going to get, no smoke screen. So, like the French. High detection range, like the French. They don't have the speed on demand like the higher tier French ships, but they do have that radar. So I can see these things being difficult to master. But if the stats go ahead as they currently stand, perhaps they're going to need to be tweaked, depending on how the testing process goes, to make them a bit more average player friendly. Because I can see people getting very biting off more than they can chew in these things. It can be very easy to get into trouble, and very difficult to get out of it if you have that. The engine boosts on cooldown and your top speed's only 35 knots. But then again, that's going to depend on how the gun performance works. But I mean, if you're in something that's slow-ish for a destroyer, guns aren't particularly good. You're in something Japanese, for example, you get caught by a gunboat, you're dead. You can't get out of there until you get out of detection range. These may be able to fight their way out of trouble. We'll have to see how it goes. I'd like to see what the reload on the torpedoes is, because I was looking at the average torpedo damage around 7,000 or 8,000. Not a lot.
So let's take the Tier 8 Uland. The torpedo tubes, you got 2x3, maximum damage 10,700, a range of 12 kilometers, speed 76 knots, and then the whoa, I know. Tell me about it. And then the reload time is 70 seconds, so incredibly fast, and that's without the commander skills as well. That should be the base stats.
So you could probably get that down to about 65 seconds.
Exactly.
Like a 1
But
minute.
it is worth mentioning that surface detectability is 8 kilometers, which is pretty high.
It's nasty. Obviously, you can get that down with commander skills and from tier 8 and higher, the concealment mod. But you're probably, like in French destroyers, at the beginning of the game, you're not really going to want to be contesting caps in these things.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean the perception of French destroyers when they first launched. I mean there were mixed views, and only after a certain amount of time did it become apparent that they were incredibly strong in gunfights. And I think the perception changed in the community quite a bit. And I think it's probably going to be something similar to this. I think it's going to be a bit of a shock to the system, and it's going to have to players are going to have to change their play styles to adjust to it. But I mean it's offering something new, something different.
Can you imagine if you take torpedo acceleration on that thing?
Oh, bloody hell,
Okay, guys. I think we had enough of European destroyers for now.